Hello guys and welcome back to another video. This is the last part of the book review, Mastering Emotions. Finally got to the end of it. I've got two more videos coming. I've got another book review of the book I've finished as well. And I've got some clips from when I went on holiday. I said in my last video I went skiing. So I've got a little workout and I think there'll be more workouts coming, I hope anyway. And so yeah, I've got that to get uploaded as well. So I'm going to get on with editing and recording them, or recording the book review. So anyway, enjoy this video.
For instance, let's say you feel an emotion you identify as stress. This tells you to make change in your life. It could involve moving away from a stressful situation, improving the situation, or changing how you interpret it. One thing is sure, you need to do something about it. If you keep ignoring stress or the stressor, it may result in severe health issues. Another thing I've seen, I'm not going to go deep into it because it's on the family side, but there's been quite a lot of stress things within my family, and ultimately they've been able to get rid of it by removing themselves from the situation. And even in jobs, if it's stressful and you've got to drink alcohol to get through it, and you're like depressed all the time, you can't sleep, or you sleep all the time, all these different things. I read somewhere the biggest, or one of the biggest at least, thing on your immune system getting weaker is actually stress. And again, it's not normal. We're not meant to have a load of stress. And I've seen, I'm not going to sound sexist here, but I worked around with quite a lot of rich areas, and a lot of the time the men of the woman and man that live in these big houses and rich areas are dead, and the woman looks as good as new, not really that wrinkly, looks 50s when she's 60s and 70s. And this is how stress works. And I'm not saying every single one, but a lot of them have just been housewives or not needed to work, so haven't really stressed about working. And the men have worked themselves to death near enough, well, most of them. And that's probably why women live longer than men. It might start changing, but men seem to properly work in more stressful, not always again, but in more stressful environments, like within trades, and like when men were all coal mining and that. Being defensive. Our love of being right is best understood as our fear of being wrong. Do you constantly justify yourself? Are you offended whenever someone insults you or disrespects you? There are very specific reasons why you get defensive. By becoming conscious of these reasons, you'll learn a lot about yourself and be able to let go of that desire to defend yourself. First, let's see why you get defensive. Why you get defensive. The need to defend yourself stems from the desire to protect your story or your ego. Every time your ego is threatened, you are triggered and feel the need to defend it. I believe there are three main reasons why you are triggered. There is part of truth in what you were told. You believe there is part of truth in what you were told. A core belief you hold has been attacked. Know that because we all have different stories, what triggers you might not trigger someone else. I'm not going to read all this, but I might speak on part of it. So again, pause here if you want, and you can read all of it if you want. Okay, I'm just going to talk on this part. Someone directly or indirectly attacks one of your core beliefs and you feel the need to defend yourself. This could be a religious belief, political belief, or a more general belief about the world or yourself. This, I think, is this is talking about people that might believe Donald Trump was evil. Some liberals had strong emotional reactions after he was elected president. Some shouting even became violent. On the other hand, many conservatives were delighted by Trump's victory. Anyway, I'm going to talk about this. I've seen this quite a lot as well. The nicest of people, if you attack one of their core beliefs, they can get very angered by it because it's a belief, it's all they've believed, it's all they know. And this happens a lot because a lot of things is taught by the school system or taught by your family, and this can happen in money points of view. And there's a thing, I think I already said this within this video, you can't teach an old dog new tricks kind of thing, that if you're trying to teach someone a new belief, they've got to change the whole belief system to believe it. Like around money, for example, you need to change your whole belief system around it. and people can get proper like angered or scared and not really want to talk about it. Yeah, I think that's all I really need to talk about that as well. Stress and worry. Within every worry is an opportunity for positive action. In every lie there is a kernel of truth. Behind every neurotic symptom is the misdirected desire to live fully and well. This is another good part just about kind of observing your emotions. Most people believe a situation can be stressful. The truth is stress doesn't exist outside of yourself, and therefore no situation can be said to be stressful in itself. So I'm just going to talk about this part. I'm not going to read about it all again, but there's some things you might find stressful and another person might not find it stressful, and this just proves there's literally no such thing as stress. It's just your interpretation of it. Dealing with worry. Worry differs from stress, as it isn't a result of something you experience in the present, but a concern you have regarding events from the past or events that may happen in the future. You experience stress when you face a stressful situation in the present moment. With worry, they happen in the past and there's absolutely nothing you can do about them, and or they may happen in the future and you cannot control the future. And I know it's hard with how your mindset is, but this is all you've got to think and work on, that you can't control the future and you can't change the past. So care what people think of you. It's just a little quote I'm going to read. How on earth can another's thought about you harm you? It is your thought about his thought that harms. Change your thought. Quick quote down here. When you're 20, you care what everyone thinks. When you're 40, you stop caring what everyone thinks. And when you're 60, you realise no one was ever thinking about you in the first place. I saw quite a fair point on this. There was a person recording himself just doing weird things and talking, and they was recording themselves to start like really high up, like just vlogging in New York City in a really busy place, and no one told him you can't do this, or they might have got a few weird looks, but I can't remember. But it doesn't really change anything, and it just proves no one really cares. You can do what you want. It's a good point. Finally, remember, people will always interpret your words and actions based on their values and beliefs. Therefore, to let your personality shine, you have no choice but to allow them to see you whatever way they wish. This is what I've said a lot of times about different people. You're not always gonna be liked by everyone. Something that someone really likes about you, someone might hate about you. For example, if you're really, really nice, people might like you because you're nice, but then there'll be other people that don't like you because they think, oh, he's too nice, and I don't know how that could be a negative thing, but there you go. Proves the point again. I think I've already talked on depression, but I'm not going to read all this again, but this is another part. Depression is an active process. While you may seem as though depression is happening to you, it is in fact created by the negative thoughts you identified with. Thus, you do have some responsibility in creating your depression. Does it mean you should feel guilty or beat yourself up for being depressed? Of course not. Never. In fact, you should never beat yourself up for any of the emotions you feel. That would be pointless. What it means, however, is that because you've played a part in creating your current emotional state, you also have the power to get out of it. And that's great news, right? I think I said this before. Depression is a sign that you need to move away from your mind by letting go of your worries about the past/future of your interpretation of the present situation and reconnect to the present moment. It can be a powerful invitation to let go of the identity you've been clinging to for so many years. This identity is what led you to believe you should be doing certain things, making a certain amount of money, adopting a certain lifestyle, developing a certain social status. Also, I've said it before, but I'll say it again. Depression, it should really be like if you're depressed, you probably live a depressing life. So it's kind of your body's telling you something that you need to change what you're doing. And then over here, I think, is a few ways to help with your mind and get rid of depression. Exercise, as previously discussed, exercise is a great way to calm your mind. Meditation is an effective way to observe your mind. Activity, getting busy allows you to avoid excessive thinking. And focus on others, as mentioned in Dale Carnegie's book, How to Stop Worrying and Start Living. Alfred Adler used to say to his melancholia patients, you can be cured in 14 days if you follow this prescription. Try to think every day how you can please someone. This bit's on fear, all different fears. Fear of failure, fear of loss, fear of disturbing, fear of success. How to use fear to grow. The fear of doing something new is often a sign you should go ahead and do it anyway. This indicates a great opportunity for personal growth. Fear, as with any other emotion, only exists in your mind. This is why we often realise what a fool we've been after we've completed something we were initially wary of starting. People who end up reaching their wildest goals often do so because they are willing to leave their comfort zone. Over time, they learn to be comfortable with the uncomfortable. Picture one thing you were once afraid to do that is now no big deal for you. Alright, this part, taking action. The first step to move out of your comfort zone is to realise even the most successful people on the earth feel fear. Courage is not the absence of fear. It is taking action despite the fear. Courage is realising fear is not going to go away and doing what you want to do anyway. Without fear, there is no courage. As you face fear on a regular basis, you cultivate courage and turn it into a habit. Again, I think Tate did a bit of a speech on this, that people always have fear, but that doesn't change anything. They still do it, even when they are scared. Right, now on to my next tag, procrastination. Only put off until tomorrow what you are willing to die having left undone. Just a quick quote by Pablo Picasso. These are sort of just highlighted the most valuable parts, but again, I'm not going to read it all. So you can pause and read them too. And pause and read 5 and 6, 9, 11 and 12, and 14. And lastly, 16. Lack of motivation. So I've got a little highlighted bit down here. I've never heard of a Nobel Prize winner retiring early because he or she was bored. In fact, most of them will work until the day they die. This is because they have a clear purpose. Another bit, right? So you see, Tate covers a lot of things, but he also had a part on this. His quote was something like, I've never heard of someone that constantly does something, never stops, and still fails. Billionaires selling their companies to retire on a tropical island. They may have tried but quickly realised how boring their lives have become. The point is, you don't inherently lack motivation, you're just not doing what you're supposed to do. You haven't stretched yourself enough and haven't created a vision that inspires you. Perhaps you're stuck at the same dead-end job that bores you to tears. Or maybe you are at your current job for the money or to fulfill your parents' wishes. Then it's no wonder you lack motivation. Fortunately, you can get your motivation back. Right on to the next chapter. Emotions come and go and ultimately can't define you, but it doesn't mean they don't have a role to play. They can foster your personal growth by reminding you of what you already know. You need to make changes in your life. And the more you ignore your emotions, the louder they will become. It starts with a small voice, a gut feeling, or an intuitive knowledge. As you dismiss this sign, it gets louder. Keep ignoring your emotions and your body will begin to talk in the same way as you experience physical pain. Right, that's the book done. Master Your Emotions by Thibaut Muris. There's a lot of practical parts in it I've not talked about that are at the end. Where is it? Oh yeah, the step-by-step workbook. So again, if you want to learn more about it and you're interested in it all, or you need to master your emotions in certain ways, then buy this book. It's great. I can't remember how much it was. I'm guessing it was about a tenner or something. So there you go. That's that. Right, that's that. The whole book review done. Master Your Emotions. Hope you all enjoyed. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe and turn notifications on if you don't want to miss any valuable content. So thank you and see you in a bit.